Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour tested, tour approved. The 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line, your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about. Use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today.
Hello and welcome to My Side of the Bag. Drew Hinesley, Scotty Worldwide, both coming from our homes today, which is very rare for both of us. How
Correct.
you doing in SoCal?
SoCal's beautiful. You know, it's crazy to get to spend 2 weeks here and this time of the year, usually on the road. So it's been good. And I get to spend the next week about 4 feet over there on that beautiful blue couch watching my favorite tournament of the year, someplace that you know well, a little place down there in Augusta, Georgia. And so I'm fired up. You know, it's Master Sunday. It feels like, you know, everyone's arrived. We've had the ANWA, we've had the drive, ship, and putt, and it just feels like Master Week is officially here now. So excited.
Well, we're going to get to that in just a second, but Masters Week actually may be a little postponed. They're actually
For the patrons.
postponing the opening of the gates for the patrons
Yeah.
because some weather that just came through my yard, which my yard needed it. Got some important rain on my grass, so I'll get out, cut it tomorrow after the rain comes, but it'll still be hanging around down there in Augusta. So if you have a ticket for Monday, you might be watching our show instead of watching the Masters on a Monday.
Some lightning in the forecast as well, correct?
Yeah, lot of energy between my house and Augusta National right now, and I think it's going to hang overnight. Let's start with what's become one of my favorite events of the spring, the Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Absolutely. This was so fun to watch down the stretch through a 3-day golf tournament. I'm going to mispronounce the name.
Carla Bernat Escuder.
Well, pretty good there. It's why you're in TV, Drew. But yeah, no, I mean, what a performance, what a tournament, what a Saturday she had at Augusta to hold off number one, world ranked amateur Lottie Woad, who was making a charge. Some other folks that were having a really good days and just steady down the stretch. Made the one hiccup on 17 coming down the stretch, left it in that front bunker on the right, but other than that, just played beautifully all day. And I mean, Drew, she looks like she's seen the place and knew how to get around. She was so steady down the stretch there.
Yeah, really steady. First Spanish woman to win, joining Seve, Jose Maria, Sergio Garcia, and of course our 2023 champion at the Masters, John Rahm. So Jose Maria there to greet her as she came off the golf course. One of the great traditions of the Masters, all the past champs, especially fellow countrymen and women, able to enjoy each other's success. And proud day for Spaniards in Augusta, Georgia, and throughout the Spanish-speaking world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they said it on the telecast. She has some ties to Sergio Garcia. Sergio's dad is one of her teachers or coaches, I believe they said. But yeah, it was just a really fun. It started off with, I know, one of your favorites, Megan Gagne, shooting a 63 over a Champions Retreat on Wednesday. And that's kind of new. We've seen the scoring not low at Champions Retreat, and the girls took it low out at the gate starting on Wednesday morning over at Champions Retreat. So it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch them make birdies on a difficult golf course. I know my boss talks about all the time how hard Champions Retreat is, and you saw it play a little bit softer and kind of was for the taking. Wednesday and Thursday morning out there.
Well, and I think two things are at play there. One, everybody's going to see this week, there is a noticeable difference in the trees that have been thinned out and in some cases totally removed. I know there was a tree on the fourth hole at Champions Retreat that really bothered a lot of players. It's gone. There's a considerable thinning at Augusta National. If you haven't looked yet, Golf Digest did a really cool photo comparison that I just saw released tonight of before and after pictures of certain holes at Augusta National. I know 10 is featured. I know 16 is featured. You'd be amazed how many pines were around 16 last year that aren't there this year. They'll show the the kind of the back left backdrop behind 13, you'll see a lot more azaleas on the ground and a lot fewer trees, and certainly not as thick as it once was. Same goes at Champions Retreat. So players didn't have to deal with quite as many trees, maybe a little bit more escapability. But also, I just think the women are doing the same thing that the men are doing at the amateur level. They're preparing themselves and all these programs, these national programs, these collegiate programs. You know, Ingrid, your boss, just came out of LSU and came out of the Swedish program. You know how involved the Swedish national team is with her development. They've, you know, I don't know if wouldn't say the women were maybe behind the men, but if they were, they're closing the gap. And these young ladies are coming to the Augusta National Women's Amateur. They're coming to the East Lake Cup. They're playing the national championships. They're playing LPGA events, and
Yep.
they're more polished than
Yeah.
they used to be. And they don't freak out on fast greens, maybe like my generation of players might have, not used to seeing that. These young ladies, young women, are seeing championship setups week in, week out at their collegiate events, at their amateur events. Many of them are getting sponsor invites. I know Anna Davis, defending
Mhm.
champ, was there. She's been out playing a lot of sponsor invites on the LPGA. I don't think any of that would scare her at this point. I think she's a seasoned vet, and she had a seasoned vet, Augusta caddy, David, a friend of mine, on her bag this week, and they were able to get to the weekend, which was a
Yep.
challenge for Anna the last couple of years after being the champ. So I think the women are doing a really good job of improving their games, and shooting 63s shouldn't really surprise anybody. Probably the biggest surprise to me is that she didn't back it up so well. She fought hard that second day, and then, you know, struggled a little bit yesterday. Didn't really get it going like Escudero did. But again, I think the women's game is coming a long way, and you probably know it better than most. It's really fun to watch, and it's really fun to watch them take on a major championship test that the men will play the following week, and just have a little comparison and contrast there. I know that when you used to walk around Augusta, Wake Forest guys would tell you where Arnold Palmer used to hit it. Now the Wake Forest people tell you where Jennifer Kupcho used to hit it. So that's really cool to watch that transformation. And this was the sixth iteration of the Augusta National Women's Amateur. It's really starting to take hold, and I know there were a couple of people in attendance yesterday on Sunday that had not been before. Some people around here, some important people in the golf world in the state of Georgia, and they were there. They thought, you know what? I haven't had a chance to go down there. Let's go down there and see what it's all about. So
Cool.
it's getting some traction both at the club and in the area, and I'm fortunate enough to be around a lot of people that are attached to that. So really neat to see the people backing women's golf. You and I have we've long talked about, you know, tennis is an equality sport. Golf should be as well, and I feel like the Augusta National Women's Amateur is fuel to that fire, helping us bridge that gap.
Drew, before we go to the next topic, and I think you wrapped it up beautifully there, I think there is a sense that maybe it's time to let the other women play and the professional women, just from having some ties to the club and having ties to the LPGA. Do you ever think we see the LPGA women at Augusta?
No, no.
Okay.
I think what you see now is the way it's going to be, and unfortunately for the women that you're working with, you work with Ingrid, so she had a chance. But the older players, some of my old bosses out there, Bianca and others, unfortunately, they'll just have to hear from their caddies. There's a lot of LPGA caddies. I saw a couple of them out there this weekend, and they'll just have to rely on the stories from those caddies. Hopefully, they can get invited there to play on a member day, but you won't ever see any organized women's event there. Just the ANWA is what they pour a lot of energy into, and I think in 20 years we won't have this discussion because all the players on the LPGA will have that ANWA experience.
Yeah,
So
fair.
they'll just have to let it cycle through, and it's unfortunate for players that are 10 years older because that would have been a really neat thing. And you know, same with drive, chip, and putt. You know, you think about the past champions that were out there today handing out trophies. Can you imagine some of them at their age going to the drive, chip, and putt? We won't know what they would have been like, but in 20 or 30 years, there very well could be women and men winning trophies there that
Yeah,
we go back and watch the footage and see them at the drive, chip, and putts.
that's a
So
good point.
uh,
That's a good
it,
point.
it,
Like
it
in
like
in 10 years, right? Every girl that's playing on tour already have played in the Augusta.
Right, like everything with Augusta, with a little bit of time, it all makes sense. And they have an ability to see ahead around the corner, maybe better than some of us. But the Augusta National Women's Amateur, I'm so proud of the club for doing it, because we all know the negative press they received in the 1990s and early 2000s, and that issue is no longer an issue, and they are now becoming a champion in the women's game. And trust me, every female that was on the grounds today and goes down there, even for the rest of the week, trust me, they're still selling Anwa
Oh yeah.
merchandise in the merchandise tent during Masters Week, and it will sell out. They will get a lot of people buying that stuff because it is so new, and it's good to see. And I love seeing, when I'm out at golf courses all over the country, all over the world, I see an Augusta National Women's Amateur shirt. I'm like, man, that's really cool. That means you've been there just in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
and you're supporting the women's game. So proud of all of that, and it's only going to grow, and it's only going to get better.
Amen. That's well said.
All
Well
right,
said.
Valero Texas Open, a Georgia Bulldog, go
Hey.
Dogs. Brian Harmon battles the elements
Yeah,
and
looked
battles the
hard.
rest of the field. Ends up separating by 3 shots to win the Valero Texas Open. I think at one point he was 13 under par yesterday,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Friday. I can't remember. It's been a busy weekend for me. But he ends up winning at 9 under. So
Uh,
it's not often on the PGA Tour on the weekend everybody goes backwards, but that's
yeah,
what
no.
happened here.
I watched a couple holes on Saturday. I didn't see a lot of the tournament. I watched a lot of Saturday and saw the end of it today. But it looked very hard. Wind was blowing. I mean, 18. When's the last time you watched a par 5 on the PGA Tour where guys have to hit mid irons to lay up, right? And so that tells you how hard that thing was playing today into the wind.
Well, and
And
just to your
yeah,
point there, that was what they were required to do today, and you saw how hard that was.
yeah,
So now think about all the amateurs that were watching going, I have to do that every par 5 I play. And you wonder why I'm a 19
yeah,
handicap. Because it
right,
is
yeah.
hard hitting that third shot into a par 5 green, or hitting that hybrid into a par 4. And that's what the PGA Tour pros are asked to do in that Texas wind.
Yeah, no, so it was good to see. I know you, like you said, good Georgia Bulldog, member of the Ryder Cup team. Brian Harmon won, playing with a heavy heart. Had some family stuff happen. Not going to get into the details. If you guys are interested, you can go read about it. But just happy for him. Happy to get the win for his family. Andrew Novak held on a long time. I mean, he should play in the hole number 16 for the rest of his life. The kick that he got on Saturday, I mean, unbelievable. Kicks off the stands to about 8 feet and crashes the putt. Just fun to watch, fun tournament, and glad almost that it's over, and now all eyes can just turn towards Augusta. And so Brian Harmon obviously will be in the field. And so, very, very excited about his win there. And I think moves him closer and gets him to discussion, about being on that team maybe later on this summer.
Yeah, it's been, I think, for Brian would tell you it's been a kind of a quiet start to the year, and now a couple of events in a row. He's been playing a little bit better, gets the W today. No better way to walk into a major championship than coming in with a trophy in your hand. LPGA match play, T-Mobile match play, Las Vegas. You've been there before.
Yeah.
Probably your favorite course to caddy ever, right?
It is brutal. It is brutal. I caddied last year for Elizabeth Sokol, as some of the listeners know, and it's just brutal. I mean, the greens are so firm, the fairways are so firm. I mean, at one point, our hybrid was running out to a 90, 310. So it's brutal to predict bounces there. And whoever's been there, the green complexes are so hard, so slopey and undulated that, I think, I don't want to say, I've never been there, so I don't want to say a lot like Augusta, but like you missing the wrong tier, the ball's coming off the green. And some of those up and downs, you just can't get close. So you have to get to 15, 20 feet, and that's the only way you're making up and downs. So it can just be a brutal test. I'm glad that they changed the format and went back to match play, because in all facets, you can win some of these holes with bogey or double. And when that was a stroke play event like last year, it doesn't look good for us. It doesn't look good on TV. And so hats off to the LPGA to go back to just using this as a match play format instead of stroke play.
Well, we're recording this as Madeline Sackstrom and Lauren Coughlin are coming down to the final couple holes. It's tight.
Tied on
It was a
16 right now, I think, right?
big Sackstrom lead. She lost 5 out of 6 holes. She put the flames out with the fire extinguisher in the trunk of her car, but everybody was slowing down to watch the car burn up on the interstate. Put the fire out. She's back. They got a chance. But what do you think about the championship match? The two players that made it. There's always a little bit of talk about, oh, we didn't get the top two players in the game,
Well,
or
I mean,
Geno's who's playing great. She got beat by Angel Yin. What do you think about the final match?
yeah, two stalwarts on the tour, two great players, two players that you'd have your hands full going against the match, because two players that tend to strike it really well and being able to birdie every hole. And Sagstrom's probably, I mean, I don't even want to say probably a little more talented ball striker, but Lauren's probably maybe have a little bit more complete game and like putting ability and ability to score and win when she needs to. I mean, she won twice last year. And by the way, went undefeated at Solheim Cup. So, man, two great caddies, Shane and then Kurt's on the bag for LC out there. In all honesty,
And Kurt, who had a haircut recently.
Yes,
Because I was like, who's the new caddy for Lauren?
Yeah.
And then I realized it was Kurt minus about 3 pounds of hair.
Yeah. So T Mac, Terry McNamara.
I'm trying to make up for it now. I got about 2 years of growth, and I'll catch Kurt.
So for all the nerds like me that follow the caddies, T Mac, obviously, who caddies for LC, is out, having some work done on his back. So he's out for a couple months. So that's why.
Well, he is 89 years old, so it's about time to start working on the back. T Mac, I love you, brother.
He's made enough money. Okay, all right, longtime caddy, obviously for Annika. But
and he started with old Tom Morris, and then he won a bunch with Annika. So.
Wow.
Sorry, T Mac. That was low hanging fruit. I'm gonna have to get him on the show now so he can zing a couple back at me. That's awful.
But no, should be a good match. Obviously, we have it could be a potential Solheim Cup match. You have the Swede and Sagstrom and LC, obviously the American side. If you ask me, gun to my head, right now it's tied. Who I think has to win? I think LC probably just finds a way to win. Again, Sagstrom, and I'm Team Sweden all the way, but she's just found too many tournaments she's probably should have won before. And so I just think LC will probably get it done on those last holes. And obviously Kurt's been there and won before too. So I think I'm going to go with LC and Kurt.
Okay. Well, we may update you with that as this thing progresses. We both got it on while we're recording this show. A little distracted, but a good distraction. All right. Now we turn to Hello Friends. A tradition unlike any other. Welcome to the Augusta National Golf Club and the cozy Butler Cabin. Yes. Jim Nantz making an announcement this past week or maybe 2 weeks ago. 2036 will be his final Masters. That's 11 years from now. It'll be his 51st broadcast, and it will be the 100th edition of the event. So a lot of milestones will be reached there. Of course, we've all got to survive 11 years to get there, including Mr. Nantz, who has probably seen a few more sunsets than he has remaining, but I think he's in good enough health to call 2036 an adios.
I think he'll be there. Looks like he'll be there.
Okay, Masters Monday. Yes. If you have a ticket, I'm sorry, because you're not going to see a whole lot of golf. It's definitely raining right now, approaching Augusta. I live 90 miles due west of Augusta National, straight west. So whatever hits me in my yard is in Augusta 2, maybe 3 hours later, depending on the speed of the storm. Right now, the rain is starting to get there. I think all the festivities today with drive, chip, and putt and all the activities going on around the club, I don't think any of that was affected. But it's going to rain all night. And it's going to rain into the morning. So they're going to keep the gates shut for patrons. And even the parking lots are going to be shut for patrons. Yes. I can't imagine what that's going to do to traffic on Washington Road and those exits around I-20 tomorrow morning. If you have to travel through Augusta, you might want to keep an eye on your ways. There's a couple of ways to get off and drive around the Savannah River, go around Clark Hill Lake, and avoid, because it's going to be a mess
Yeah,
in the morning. It's
no,
going to be raining, and there's going to be a bottleneck. There's going to be tens of thousands of people in vehicles that won't be able to park those vehicles anywhere but a Publix.
and so on their thing on Augusta National has put out "Do not approach Augusta
Yeah,
National."
yeah, and it's like, I mean, they can control a lot of things there.
Yeah.
They can't control whether or not people are coming down the interstate.
So, and also they did say they're going to update it at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So
Right. So
hopefully we have some good news and people can come, but the weather doesn't look good. And two, there's no guarantee of refunds or money back
right.
or anything
And
like
there's
that.
and there's people that travel internationally all over the planet, and they'll take whatever they can get in the lottery. And if you got Monday and
Yeah,
you're from Denmark, I hate that for you, because you
correct.
spent a lot of money getting here, and they're probably just landing in Atlanta, getting ready to trek down I-20 tonight, and they're not going to see any golf tomorrow. And if they're going to update it at 8, typically the gates open at 7 a.m. and then the course opens at 8, so the patrons all line up and everybody very politely walks to their spot on the golf course, or speed runs, or
Speed
speed
walks, no
walks.
running at
Yeah,
Augusta.
no running. Speed walks to their place on the property that they like to view the action. But if they normally open the gates at 7, course opens at 8, so there's only going to be an update at 8. And I'm just telling you, I'm looking at the forecast because
Thunder.
I'm working outside tomorrow in Atlanta, and it's going to affect us. Everything here has been pushed back till the afternoon, and we've got Masters visitors coming in to see us, and we've had to kind of crunch our tee sheet. So everybody here is affected by a lot of weather going on right now. The good news is I will be there as a patron Tuesday, and Tuesday's going to be perfect.
There you go.
So the person who bought the ticket that I'm going with on Tuesday, they're a lucky dog, because it is going to be a really good day for golf. And because nobody's really going to get in a lot of action tomorrow, as far as the participants in the event, they're all going to be out there Tuesday playing a lot, probably. A lot of
Yeah,
times guys will just play 9 each 3 days and then go play the par 3. You might see a lot of 18-hole matches out there on Tuesday, which is great for the patrons, because they don't have to worry about catching guys on a certain 9. They can just
yeah,
kind of drift around the course. And again, I think it's great for the patrons to see the difference in the new kind of treeless Augusta.
yeah.
Again, any tree that was in play before is still in play, and there have been a couple of trees planted to just to make you think, man, was that there before? It draws your attention instead of what you should be focusing on, which is the flag and your shot. But there are some openings, and more wind will flow through the property this year, so it will be very interesting to see what the patrons think. There might, hopefully, if I was a smart news director, I would be out there Tuesday saying, how many years have you been here? 33. Okay, great. What do you think is different? And they'll say, man, it's wide open.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great story, especially for the local telecast around Augusta. So, but yeah, Tuesday's going to be good. I think the only weather we're really seeing is maybe Friday, a little bit of rain.
Okay.
It's been fairly dry here. We've had a couple of systems come through today and late last week, but it's all been kind of fast moving stuff. We haven't really had like a system sit here for several days, really all winter. It's been a pretty dry winter.
So
So I
you think the
expect,
little
what's that?
fast and firm Masters?
I expect the course to be pretty firm. I
Okay.
do. I think they can, again, once this weather goes through in
Yeah.
the next 18 hours, I mean, they'll have, Monday afternoon till Thursday morning to dial it up how they want.
Yeah, and they
And
got sub air. They can go as much as they want.
and I think there will be some wind. I am seeing some wind in the forecast. So, and again, fewer trees means you could feel it more. Maybe those balls down around 10, as they came down lower than the tree line, didn't get hit as much. There's not as many trees there now, so that wind may steer balls a yard or two in places they didn't before, and it may catch a couple guys off guard. And out there, you're dancing on the edge of a razor blade, and the last thing you want is some uncertainty on how a ball is going to fly, how it's going to land, how it's going to react. And you may have a little bit more of that, which, if I'm not caddying in the event, man, let's go. I want all the
Correct.
uncertainty possible because it makes it fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
I'm not holding a bag in the tournament. It can be as brutal as it needs to be.
that's right. My side of the bag sponsored by Birdie Brands and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. And those of you tuning in that are watching us from reading the Back Nine Brief, welcome. Hopefully we're educating and informing you guys on the way caddies see the world of golf, our side of the bag, maybe a little different view. Maybe it's the same view you've always had, and we're the voice bringing it out and bringing it to life. So thanks for joining us, everybody from the Back Nine Brief. All right, the Masters app, the best app in sports. I've actually tweeted this, and I probably shouldn't, but I tweeted at the PGA of America last year saying, guys, you got to follow the Masters app. You got to
Just
step your game
everyone
up.
in golf, just do this.
I mean, I work all week during Masters week, and then of course I try to watch on the weekends. But I don't feel the last couple of years, I don't feel like I've missed anything by being at work and actually focusing on work. Because in those few seconds I have, I can go on whatever player I'm following, and I
Yeah.
can watch the 2 or 3 shots on that hole, see how that particular thing happened, and then go back to my day. And so I'm kind of watching a highlight reel all day long. And all of you guys that have used the Masters app know this. But they've got their fantasy thing on the app. Select your team. I think it's up and ready to go for you now, for you early birds who want to go ahead and get your team in. So Scotty and I, we've done it. We have our teams. We
Yes.
will start with the first category, past champions worldwide. First
Yeah.
pick.
Well, I really, 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 really wanted to go with the Spanish theme and pick Sergio Garcia.
Who finished, I think, third in Live in Miami
Yeah.
today. So he's playing good. Won a couple weeks ago. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't pick him. Sounds like you
But
want to,
but
but
my name is Scott,
oh, there we go. And we know you as Scotty. So
and you people know me as Scotty,
and you love taking chalk, so that makes
and
sense.
I
Okay,
love
got
me
it.
some Ted Scott.
There we
So I'm
go.
taking Scotty Scheffler. You see all these symmetries
I
here,
see the
Jerome?
theme.
Yeah.
I think I could. I hope our listeners got there faster than you delivered it to them. Had them hanging on the edge there. I
Past
think
champion.
they.
I'm on 3 in a row, Scotty Scheffler.
All right, I'm going Adam Scott, past champ.
Ooh,
I think
okay.
he's in good form. Had a great run in the playoffs last year. Keegan Bradley clipped him at the BMW. Played very good in Atlanta at the Tour Championship. So the last time he played golf in Georgia, obviously a vastly different course, but he played well. He's a past champion here. Past champions know their way around the golf course, and I think he's shown some good form. I'm going with Scotty. All right,
Okay.
your U.S. pick.
Do you want to go?
I'll
Since I
take
don't see
Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, yeah, chalk.
Hey, I got my Final Four right for the first time ever. Went 1 seeds across, and I
Oh,
nailed it. So
you
we're
went
gonna stick with the theme this week.
you went on a limb there.
And
I'm
but I
going.
got it right. Isn't that what
Hey,
counts?
hey, 100%. You've referred to this team as the best team in golf before.
Oh,
Won
there we
2
go.
majors last year. I'm taking Xander Schauffele.
Okay. Again, my question is, how healthy is he? How rusty is he? It's those 45-yard pitch shots that we want to hit medium trajectory,
Hey,
and we want it to
he
release
played
10
really
feet to the
good at that
right.
other golf course that Bobby Jones did pretty good at over
He
there at
loves
East Lake.
Eastlake. He really does. Yeah. So again, I wouldn't be surprised, but I couldn't go with him this year. And that probably spells victory for Xander because I've picked him for the last 6 straight years. So this year I don't pick him.
This is the only year I'm picking him, so hopefully.
They could probably start engraving the trophy right now, knowing I am the Black Angel of Death for these games. So okay, international. You go
Uh,
first.
it's going to be a special year with a win at Pebble and a win at TPC. Rory McIlroy, I think, gets it done and gets him a green jacket, career Grand Slam.
I'm not sure he's going to get it done, but he is my international pick. So we got the same guy there. All right.
Perfect.
First timers. That's an eclectic group, isn't it?
Very eclectic group, and I love it.
I'll go with Maverick McNeely.
Love it.
Got
Great
his
pick.
brother on the bag, was visiting with my friend Smiley Kaufman this week at the Valero, and said he's really excited to see his brother in that white Masters jumpsuit.
He's playing great. Had another good week this week.
And he's put some low scores up too, which tells me he's feeling good. And for a first timer, I really think he's about as experienced as you get at this level for a first timer.
My pick was Max Gracerman.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's a guy that's been around the block, guy that's contended in a lot of tournaments, not afraid of the moment. Yeah, I like Max Grayson as my first timer.
Okay. That's where I'm going to lap the field with you, is Maverick and Max. All right, your wild card pick, you go first.
Well,
Final pick.
I'm going to have to take a Swede if, that's who I am. And I'm taking
Yeah.
Ludwig and Joe.
Okay. Ludwig, runner up there last year for a first timer. He almost got it done like Fuzzy Zeller did so many years ago. So, okay, Ludwig is your wild card pick. I am going to stick with my Aussie theme. Took Scotty as my defending champ. And I think Jason Day, a rejuvenated
Ooh, I like
Jason
it.
Day, finished second there early in his career and has now reunited with his coach, Colin Swatton, who's also coaching Carl Phillips, who just won recently. So I think a lot of good things going on in that camp with that team. And Jason certainly loves Augusta. He loves the creativity. I love his short game around Augusta. So, yeah, Jason Day is my wild card pick. So I'm
Great pick.
going with Adam Scott and Jason Day. Scotty Scheffler, Maverick McNeely from the U.S., and I'll take Rory from Northern Ireland. That's my
Yeah,
team this year.
I love it. I love it. My team is what? Scotty,
Xander,
Rory, Max, Ludwig.
Ludwig. I mean, I think we've got two good teams, or all five of our guys might miss the cut. That's what's great about these things. And trust me, if you're gambling on my advice, I don't know about Scotty, but I'll speak for myself. I am the black angel of death for people that I pick.
Yeah, but
So
there's a
if
reason
you're
I don't gamble.
gambling, please be responsible and don't listen to me.
Or me. I'm in the hole quite a bit in my gambling days. So
Okay,
I just
so
call it a donation.
all right, so we've talked a little bit about the golf course, about the weather, about who we like.
Yes.
Let's go winning score.
Ooh. Think 11 under.
Okay. I was going to go a little south of that. I was going to be in the 13-14 range. I think it's going to be scoreable Thursday. I think this weather, it'll keep some of the course soft. And I think they'll, again, what my philosophy is, what Augusta's philosophy is they let you go get it on Thursday. Thursday's your day to post. And then they slightly tighten the screws on Friday, and there may be some weather Friday. And then they tighten them a little bit more on Saturday, but the guys who are in form tend to separate. And then Sunday, it's roars through the pines. And they set up the traditional pins, 16 in the bowl, 14 in the bowl, back center, and they give guys chances to score. So I feel like you can put up one on Thursday, you can put up one on Sunday. And if you can just try to not make a mess out of Friday and Saturday, and maybe the top of the field, the guys that are going to be on the board can maybe shoot 70, 69 on those two in between days, posting a 65 and a 66. I think that's why you live in the mid teens. That's kind of how
Did I hear a
think.
number? Did I get a number in that?
13. I'll go 13.
Okay.
I'll go with lucky 13 this year, 13
All right.
under. Yeah, I think, again, I think they like seeing roars to begin and roars to end the tournament. And in the middle, they test you.
That's fair. Huh. I think no one would hate a 13 or 11 under tournament. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a record score, but I don't think it'll be anything around even par either. So I think 13 is a good safe number. 11, I think 11's in the hunt as well, and possibly with a bad break here and there, maybe we get a playoff at 11.
Yeah.
I think that's all for this episode. Your final thoughts before we go watch the Masters?
I have a couple things. Number one, I want to give a shout out to a guy that's playing in the tournament. 3,927 days since he raised the trophy. Angel Cabrera wins on the PGA Tour Champions this week. And again, I think we're both products of second and third chances. This guy's gotten one. And to see him come back and battle the things that he's done, really, really cool. And then also another thing too, there's a new mule out there to honor the black caddies at Augusta. It's in Augusta, and it has, Pappy Stokes, Willie Patterson, Carl Jackson on there. So from people that are visiting town, that would be cool.
Nathan Ironman Avery, one of the legends.
Yeah. So And of all those black caddies, only 2 are living that won the Masters. Obviously, Carl Jackson and Ben Bussey. Ben Bussey obviously won in '82 for Stadler. So just kind of cool. And I think a lot of times we watch the Masters and we forget about that history. And so I think it's just one of the things that, especially for a first timer that's there, can just kind of walk those grounds and know that like there's such a cool history of those black caddies before they were kind of moved out, obviously in the '80s. So if you're in Augusta and you're there this week, it'd be really cool, I think, to go see that mural.
And it was painted with no brushes. It was painted all by hand. So really cool. It's about a 15-foot golf tee with
Yes.
photos of all these guys on a street corner. Really cool. And again, those old black caddies, that's who taught me the game in the city of Atlanta. And a lot of those same guys, they all kind of knew each other. They were cousins, or, one guy, he couldn't caddy in Augusta anymore. He had to come to Atlanta, and he brought some of that culture to Atlanta, which I got to experience. And a lot of those men taught me how to love the game. And so I have a lot of respect for those guys. And Carl Jackson actually walked me around Augusta with
cool.
Bryson. Bryson and I played with Ben Crenshaw 18 holes the Sunday before the 2016 Masters. That one right there on the wall. And Carl actually, on the first hole, he said, "Give me that book." And I handed him my yardage book, and he drew arrows on every one of my pages where the real influence is, mainly to Rays Creek. But on every page of my Augusta yardage book from 2016, I have Carl Jackson's autograph on every page. And that's very, very special to me. And there was a photo taken of me. I think Jimmy Roberts or somebody did a story and picture of me and Carl that I actually have framed somewhere. And it's a very special thing to me. So those old black caddies, they taught all of us the game, and we all owe them a debt of gratitude for helping bring our job into the 21st century.
No doubt. Well, that's such a cool story, Drew. I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Ben Bussey, he had a stroke in COVID, so he is confined to a wheelchair. So really, the only person that can kind of pass that history down is Carl, who I know will be in attendance this week.
We'll be there. All right. Thanks to Birdie Brands and Uncle Keith's Red Sauce for sponsoring us. Thanks to all of you who are joining us from the Back Nine Brief. Hopefully we shed a little insight into a couple of things that may help you enjoy the Masters a little bit more. Keep watching, and if you're reading the Back Nine Brief, I'll have more to come next week on the Masters and my experience there. And we're on all the social media channels, on YouTube, on Spotify. Give us a like, give us a listen, subscribe to us, and we'll keep giving you the world of golf from my side of the back.
Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour-tested, tour-approved, the 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line and your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about out there on the course, use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today.